Welcome Kasturians. In this video we will discuss chapter 6 of history, that is the Great Uprising, in which we will see the first war of independence, that is the revolt of 1857, what were the causes and how it was fought. So let's start our chapter. As we know that the British rule, it was established in the entire India by the 19th century beginning, and it was the rule which was witnessed by the zamindars, the kings and their nobles, the artisans, the peasants, and the tribals and craftsmen. How it was witnessed? It was witnessed as a rule of hatred. It was witnessed as an exploitative rule where the kings, they felt betrayed and they felt that their territories, they have been annexed by the Britishers. The tribals, they thought that this British rule was actually a threat to their livelihood. The craftsmen and the artisans, they were already in trouble due to the economic policies that exposed them to competition, as well as when we see the ways British adopted to show their victory and to ensure their victory in India. All this made all these above mentioned people to feel angry with the British rule. So this anger, it went on, it started culminating in the hearts of the people, and ultimately it broke out. But what were the reasons? What were the main causes? And how it broke out? All this we will discuss in this chapter. So let's have a look at some of the causes that led to the Great Uprising, or the first war of independence, that is the revolt of 1857. First we will discuss the economic causes. See, the Britishers, they were traders. In fact, they were not rulers. It was the East India Company who got the Diwani rights to trade in India. So their policies were basically aimed at economic gains, and that's why they started economically exploiting India. The peasants, who were the main working class, they suffered due to the high revenue demands and the strict ways which the British adopted to collect the revenue. Also, a large part of the produce, of the total produce, was taken by the Britishers as revenue, and though even when the crops they failed, the peasants were forced to pay the land revenue. For this, the peasants have to borrow the money from private money lenders to pay the revenue, and when he was unable to pay back the loan, the land was captured in fact by the money lender, and the peasant became landless labor, and even it became more difficult for him to survive. The artisans and craftsmen, they were ruined by unfair competition given by the cheap and machine made goods. See, machine made goods, they were manufactured at a large scale and in bulk. But the Indian craftsmen, they were making goods by hand. And these goods, since they were made by hand, they cost more than the machine made goods. So that's why this imported machine made goods, they pose a threat to the Indian market for Indian artisans and craftsmen, and that's why the handicraft industry was totally ruined by the British imported goods. Also, the old ruling classes, they were displaced by the British, and these old ruling classes, they were used to give patronage to the performers, or to the those who were following religious and cultural professions, like the priests, the poets, that is the performers, and the musicians. They lost their source of livelihood, that is the old ruling classes, when they were displaced. Now we will see the political causes. In the political causes, it was the British policies of annexations, like the subsidiary alliance and the doctrine of lapse. The subsidiary alliance was actually an alliance in which, if accepted, the Indian ruler will lose his independence and he has to depend on company for all their needs. And apart from this, the doctrine of lapse, which was introduced by Lord Dalhousie, according to which the territories they were annexed by the British. This all led widespread anger against the British in the minds of the Indian rulers. Also, when we see the Mughals, the Mughal dynasty was taken over by the Britishers and the Mughal emperor was there but without any territory, and it was already informed to the last Mughal emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar that his heirs will not proclaim the throne after Bahadur Shah's death. Also, the policy of annexation introduced by Lord Dalhousie and his step to annex Awadh on grounds of misgovernance. It all led to create a feeling of backstabbing and betrayal among the Indians, and the sentiments of the sepoys who were basically mostly belonging to Awadh, they were hurt. Now we will see the social causes. The Britishers, being modernized people, they passed laws in which the customs and age old practices of sati was abandoned and banned, and the widow remarriage was made legal. So this created a fear of interference in the social customs among the Indians or the radical Indians. Also, the encouragement given to women to take up Western education, it all made the people, especially some sections of the people, to feel that the Britishers they have started interfering in our culture and they will spoil our culture. Also, apart from this, the social discrimination on the racial basis which was adopted by the Britishers and which was faced by the Indian people due to the attitude of British people relating to their racial superiority, it also added to the resentment against the British rule. And in fact, the discrimination was such that even the talented Indians who were educated, they were denied any sort of promotion and opportunity to be appointed to high posts. Now we will see some religious cause. With the Britishers came Christianity to India. Means it was during the British rule that Christianity it entered India, and most of the Christian missionaries they became very active at this time, and many native people they were converted to Christianity, and it created a fear in the minds of all Indians that the company was going to convert all the Indians to Christianity and it will ruin their religious origin. Also, the passing of law in 1850 that allowed a Christian convert to have a right to his ancestral property inheritance. Now we will see the military causes for the revolt. See, military or the sepoys. Sepoys were an integral or a very important part of the British army. It was the sepoys who were also angry with the British policies. The sepoys or the Indian soldiers, they formed a bulk of company's army. They also suffered the consequences of oppressive British rule being a part of society. The annexation of what I just mentioned earlier, it influenced and made them angry with the Britishers, and they were also influenced by the fear of getting their religion ruined by the Britishers due to coming of Christianity. The sepoys, also the British administrative measures which were within the army, they led to addition of the resentment against the Britishers. What were these? A few of them were that the sepoys, they were paid less than the British soldiers. Actually, sepoys was the term which was used by British officers to identify or to state towards an Indian soldier. So the British soldiers, they were getting more salary, and the Indian sepoys, they were paid less salary. Also, the treatment was unfair by the British officials. The high posts in the army were reserved only for the British. Also, the sepoys or the Indian soldiers, they were not allowed to wear caste and religious marks. The act was passed to send the new recruits to travel overseas if required or needed. The Hindu sepoys, they resented, as according to a popular belief travel across the sea can lead to loss of caste, and the foreign service allowance or bhatta which the sepoys were getting when they were sent to fight outside the country earlier, it was discontinued by the British. So these were the major reasons why the revolt it broke. Now in the next class we will discuss the immediate cause of the revolt and how the revolt it was carried on in the entire India. Thank you. That's all. Have a nice day.